Hi there and welcome back to another video. This time I want to explain what my OSL script for the Fresnel formula is doing and how to use it. So basically until now I used a trick to fake my Fresnel curve using the fall-off map, and I used it in a way that it resembles the Fresnel rather closely, so putting in a minimum value of 0.04, maximum value of 1, and a fall-off skew factor of 8. This gives us a representation that looks like that. That is really close to the Fresnel, and if you compare it to the Fresnel node I wrote, there's not a lot of difference, so that's the only difference. So until now I used the fall-off map method, but yesterday I thought it would be a nice thing to write my own OSL Fresnel shader. Now I know that Ahmed also has written one in his OSL pack that's already in here, but it doesn't have one thing, and that's the roughness compensation. So if I plug that in, that does exactly the same as the Fresnel up here, but with the difference that you can plug in your roughness input that you also would input to your reflection roughness in the shader. And this is done because also real-world materials, the rougher they will get, the less Fresnel they will use. So I have plugged in a float to show you, so the more towards 1 I get, the more uniform the reflection will become. And this is exactly as it works in a real world, and also as it works with the built-in Octane shaders. So if you set this BRDF model to other than Octane, you get roughness compensation also. So the question is now, why do I need an external Fresnel shader anyways? Well, I'll show you. So this is the scene I was using last week to do my dirt shader. If you have seen this video, you know the scene already. And obviously we don't want to use the Fresnel shader right as a diffuse material. We want to use it to blend stuff. Basically it comes in handy if you want to add a reflection layer on top of the base material. So let's do that. I usually do it with a blend material because it is keeping the interface rather tidy. So let's go inside of the blend material, add a material there, and then we only need 2 material ports right now. So let's make the first one a metal material, for example. So let's say we want to use, or we want to create a car paint material. So I do the usual trick, hide all, show all, to get my nice looking, tidy looking setup here. And then you want to have a reflection layer on top. So I just duplicate that for now. And obviously we want to assign a material here. So to do a car paint, and this is a very crude car paint, you can do much more to make it look great. But to do that, I'm in the artistic mode. So I go to the specular and pipe in an RGB spectrum in here. And let's do a kind of a bluish car paint. So let's make this 200, maybe 50, and brightness to 80, or a little bit darker, maybe to 60. And then also give it a little bit of roughness to make the ground layer be more rough than the base coating layer that we then add later. So let's give it a 0.5 or something. Okay, great. So let's pipe in the second material in here real quick. So what you see here is 100% reflection because this is set to artistic and the specular is 1, meaning we get 100% reflection. And this is very important if you're working with a Fresnel, because we are setting the reflection strength with the Fresnel and not with the material. All right, so the only thing that's left right now is to bring in one of my Fresnel formulas up here and then pipe that into the amount. And now we just, as always, cross-wired that. So I piped in the wrong sides. So that's basically what we get now. So we are getting a reflection on top of another reflection based on a real world Fresnel. So the edges are more pronounced than if you look straight on. And that's basically what I'm trying to do with that Fresnel. Now you may ask about the roughness. So if I would use some roughness here, and let's do it the easy way. Obviously I would use a texture normally to get some variation, but to explain, it's always better to use a constant to get the idea across more easy. So let's also drive the roughness of that material with that. And basically that's all there is to it. So whatever drives the roughness should also go in the roughness of the Fresnel. So if I make the material rougher, the Fresnel responds accordingly and therefore works as intended in the real world. And that's basically all to it. So that's how you use the Fresnel. I know that the Uber material has its own coating, as well as that there is a whole stacking system coming up in the 2019 version. But that doesn't keep me from experimenting with things and writing OSL scripts. Finally, you can download all of that by going to my webpage and then to the OSL repository. That leads you to Google Drive, where I have a lot of different OSL scripts for Octane on there. So feel free to use them and to try them out. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching and have a great time.